ago, I think it was back in '81, called the Max here in Liverpool, in England. It's called Thank You Very Much. And in Japan, it's called Asate Tomi Hanoi So. Any Japanese friends here tonight? I must apologise if all these things are a bit over the it's called under-rehearsed. Because I had an elder brother on the phone to me, which prevented me from doing this about a quarter of an hour ago. So you have to excuse me if things are a bit awry. I'd like to start off first by telling you a bit about me and my family, if you haven't heard about anything to do with the Max, as we call ourselves. And I'll start off with not my dad and my mum, who gave birth to me, but my dad's eldest brother, Uncle Jack, right? Now, Jack the Gentle Giant. It's quite an extraordinary man. I've always called him Jack the Gentle Giant, until my cousin Keith McCartney in New York has been living over here for about 25 years, and he can't stand the class system in Britain. And he says, one day, he says, why do you call my dad Jack the Gentle Giant? And I said, because he's bloody enormous. He said, no, he wasn't. He was smaller than you. Right? Uncle Jack. And because I was a little kid before he died, all I remember was like looking up at this bloody giant like that. And that's why I was called Jack the Gentle. I only found this out the other year. So I'm going to tell you, what is a city council rent collector? What is that over here? What's a rent collector saying? Collects the rent. Landlord? Right, okay. So, Uncle Jack was a city council landlord for a while, and one day found a rather upset householder on the end of his knock. He used to go down around the streets knocking on the doors collecting the rent. Mr. Mac, do you think I'm going mad or what? What's the trouble, Mrs. Woman? You look as white as a sheet. I've had a terrible shock, Mr. Mac. Look, I've caught a mouse in the trap. Come and see, I've caught a mouse. A mouse? There's nothing to be worried about. A mouse? There are millions of bloody mice in this street. Not that like this, Mr. Mac. This one is fully clothed. And sure, and honestly, I swear this is absolute truth. There in the mouse trap was the deadest but nicest dressed mouse he'd ever seen. Knitted hat, dressed a lot. Uncle Mac eventually discovered the culprit to be a lonely old lady down the street who felt sorry for the poor things, and confessed to catching them, knitting their woolly little clothes, dressing them, and then let them go. I swear that's absolutely factual. Could only happen in Liverpool. Oh, that, for anybody that's, how many people have been here, been to Liverpool? Hands up. Good. All the rest of you, go. If it's just once in your life, it is a very important thing to actually visit Liverpool once in your life before you die, and just forget the place, it's boring, usual modern architectural cock-up, but the people are absolutely magic, and they're very well worth meeting. These are the people that have been, they're wonderful. So, okay, my dad, Jim, was a cotton salesman from 14, I think he was 14, when he went into a job for life, it was called in those days. But unfortunately, in a Liverpool Cotton Exchange. But life didn't last that long, because after the war, the docks started to disintegrate, the cotton industry died, and at the height of Beatlemania, you may have heard about that over here. At the height of Beatlemania, my dad was on $20 a week, right? So things weren't that posh around our house. My mum was a nurse and then a midwife at Wharton Hospital, where we were both, my brother and I were both born. He got the private ward, didn't he? Yeah. Typical. Until she was a midwife and things like that, till 1956 when she died. My dad died 20 years later in 1976, which is interesting. I followed my elder brother through school, the Liverpool Institute High School for Boys, in other words, D&E. And which is just, by the way, God, how life does change. It's just been closed by the militants in Liverpool, right? We got these lunatics. We got a situation in Britain. It's unfortunate for the people of Liverpool because we're right in the middle of two Rams, right? Head-on collision. One's called Margaret Thatcher and one's called Derek Acton, the militant leader in there. And Liverpool people are caught in the middle, which is very, very sad, but don't worry, we'll get there. So we went through this school called the Liverpool Institute. There was me, the youngest, then George Handsome, then our kid, and John and Stu and Sin were just next door. It's part of the same complex. If you ever go to Liverpool, just you'll see the building. There's a photograph, I don't know whether I brought it with me. I think it's in this book, where you'll see they are very closely connected, the two schools. And in fact, there was one room at the top of our old school, which I think his name was Sissy Smith, was one of our English teachers. I think his name was Sissy Smith. You know, lads, they sort of call him what they wanted, you know, Mr. Smith, but I mean, he became Sissy Smith. I think he was John's uncle. I think he was John Lennon's uncle. And right behind his classroom, just in the corner, there's a bricked up door, right? Because it originally was the whole building. And there's a bricked up door, probably to stop Lennon getting in. So that was the school, Liverpool Institute, where, I don't know what the hell this has got, going to Scouts, went to Scouts and broke my arm. Oh, that's probably why, yeah. And as I broke my arm, I couldn't play the drums and Ringo got the job. That's true. Then our kids started to take up trumpet and guitar, and my drums, by the way. If you ever go to a place called Beatles City in Liverpool, there's something you mean, right? On a stand there, all beautifully lit, and, you know, beautifully things. Actually, the lettering on it was never drawn by us, but I mean, it says. You'll see a picture, I think it's in here, but I've got some photographs that I brought over to the Chicago galleries here to show them my photographs, to put an exhibition. I've got an exhibition. If you're in London, November the 18th through December the 5th, then go to the Photographer's Gallery, right? And you'll see some of these pictures, what I took some like 20 years ago, late 50s, early 60s, of Liverpool, the various facets of Liverpool. And you'll see some lovely things. For the ones that are old enough, they'll remember all the old styles. And for the ones young, you're going to love it, because all those things come in cycles. You think, yeah, look at that, I wish I had that, you know, it's lovely. Okay, then he went into a group called the Silver, and then the Beatles. Did you ever get them over here? A group called the Beatles. You've heard of them? They were very big in Liverpool. Really amazing. I haven't heard about them in Chicago, really. And they used to play at a little club, which I believe, just before I came here, somebody told me, that Mona Best has just opened up again. It's called the Casbah, right? And I'm going to read you a little story, if I can find it, from a place called the Casbah, based, there's a place called West Derby in Liverpool. And yeah, I've got it. I won't tell you the title, I'll spoil it. It was when I was having a few illegal ales, which is called beer, big pints of beer we used to drink as lads, as an alcoholic. And I was drinking with George's brother Pete down in the pub, and then decided to walk up the road to the Casbah, which is the in place all the rock and roll took place. And so I'll just read this little bit here. And as I was going up the road, I found these two leather-jacketed rockers walking alongside me, see, so, I've had a few ales, so I decided to join in conversation. And this bit goes a bit like that. They sort of asked me, what about this new club? They'd never been before. They said, what's it like? It's great, I obliged. And oh yeah, this is what was fascinating about this. The guy that monopolised the conversation had a stutter, right? And it was just weird, both of them walking along. And this guy that had the stutter sort of did all the questions. So, he's this matey, let him sort it out. So I said, yes, great, good club. Any good group song? Oh, fantastic, new group on tonight, actually. Oh, yeah, just come back from Germany. What are they called? The Beatles. The Beatles. Yeah, I know it's a funny name, but they're gear. Have you ever heard of a group called Rory Storm and the Hurricanes? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, and our kids played with them in Hamburg, and he said, "Who's your kid?" Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles. And he told me personally, Rory Storm is last. Oh, aye, but I heard that Storm's a bit of an athlete, jumps around the stage, all that sort of thing. Ah, they're just gimmicks. He's not a patch on the Beatles. Oh, really? Well, you see for yourself. This is the Casbah now. Oh, so this is the Casbah. Yeah, it costs you to get in. A bob. See you later. Okay. By the way, what's your name? Mike McCartney, what's yours? Rory Storm. True, good lad. Him and his mum and his dad. It's very sad though. They used to think God before they committed suicide together. His dad died, and his mum and himself, Rory, committed suicide. Yeah, as I say, a very bad sort of just talking. When he got on stage, yeah, he could deliver the goods. He was very, very good. He was an athlete, running around in jogging suits and things. And they used to do some crazy bloody things. Mr. and Mrs. Storm. Once, Mr. Storm used to water the flowers from the upstairs window in the middle of the night, you know. He'd Mr. John, you know. And once, I think it's in here, suddenly, again in the middle of a night fixation, suddenly in the middle of the night, the bed, the whole bed that he and Mrs. Storm are sleeping in, goes, shh. And she's like there, the whole bed's over. There's Mrs. Storm on the floor. She's like, and he just looks at it and says, "What do you mean? I've just saved you from that train." It's true. Having a nightmare. Okay. So I'll go on a little bit now to, yeah, because of my brother getting in the pop group, and because of then something turned into Beatlemania, which was quite a unique thing. I mean, it was very impossible to describe. You're sort of living through it here, and as we'll have a little talk in a minute, you can ask me questions about it. But even then, it's very, very difficult to actually describe, unless you were there. Some of the photographs I've got, the way they're printed up now, you can actually look at them. I love just looking at them just like very plain, because these are fine art prints. And when you just look at them, they're not like posters or anything. You're actually in the room. And that's the sort of nearest I get to that sort of feeling. And very old tapes that, that we haven't all heard, you get a bit of that feeling. But the actual magic of being there is actually indescribable. There are no words you can put on it. So because of this extraordinary phenomenon it turned into something called Beatlemania, I had to change my name, right? Because Mike McCartney just wouldn't have made it, that's all. It was, Paul McCartney, the name was so repeated and so over and over again. To have Mike McCartney, actually in the same business, was very, very dodgy. So I changed it. There were other alternatives, to Mike McGear, right? I was Mike McGear for like 18, 20 years of my life. From Peter Michael McCartney to Mike McGear. It could have been, the choices were Mike Dangerfield. Pretty good. Oh no, hold on. It could have been Mike McFab. It was nearly Mike McFab. Ladies and gentlemen, at lowest expense from Liverpool, England, the Mike McFab Show! So I became Mike McGear. And I went into a group called Scaffold, which was originally the Liverpool one. Oh, thank you. It was originally, I don't know whether you know this, it was originally called the Liverpool One Fat Lady All Electric Show. No one can pronounce it. And here's the Liverpool Fat Lady Electric. And here's the electric ball, fat lady, oh, get out. So we changed it to Scaffold. And we mainly did like theatres and universities, but had nothing to do with pop business, nothing to do with music at all. Till I wrote a little song called Thank You Very Much, right? Yes, have you ever heard that? A long time ago. That came about by, my brother sent me a Nikon camera, right? And I was just like at home in Liverpool, and I rang down and just waited, and it ring, and I was going, so if I answered, and there was no thinking what to do, like, don't say anything, and you've got to say something, so if they don't like it, they put the phone down, see? So the silence was there, so I just went, thank you very much for the Nikon camera, thank you very much, thank you very, very, very much, thank you very much for the Nikon camera, thank you very, very, very much. Oh, you got it then? Yeah, you're joking, did I get it? A Nikon, you got over it. I'm like, you're joking? Oh, absolutely beautiful. Oh, great, good, we've all got one down here, ta-da, 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 clunk. That was the Scaffold's first hit. We did it mainly to thank people like you that had the courtesy to like watch what you were doing. Some again, sort of the Beatlemania thing was so big that some would like just come along to look at the Beatle brother or something like that. But the main thing is like at the end of the evening, I had a 2-hour performance of surrealist word images, poetry, theatrics, all that sort of thing. Very, very different from pop. And it was so nice to get there and find there's still somebody in the building at the end of 2 hours, you know. You used to say thank you very much, it's the nicest way I could say it. That became Pop's our first fab hit. And in fact, our kid came along, he's not credited, I don't think, on anything. He's not credited any of the biographies and all that. But he actually came to the session. And it's fascinating, when you get such a superb musician as him coming in, he just like comes in, came in. And you can see the musos immediately, because they're all session men, right? They're just people that, it's their job and they just like play, because we in Scaffold could never play instruments. So they come in here and they're all saying, and suddenly they see the Beatle coming in, and they say, yeah, and you can see them sort of getting serious. Because he's a pro, you see, so they're like, and they said, yeah, that's good. And he said, do you mind, to the producer, I can't remember who the producer was. He said, do you mind if I like, just like pop in and just say a few words? And, yeah, all right. So he went round all the musos and said, if you did an activated chugga like that, and I did a chugga, and then, oh yeah, I thought, yeah, that's all right. And slowly the record evolved into the one I don't think I get it now. It's actually now, thank you very much now, it's thank you very much for the Cadbury's Roses chocolates in England and advert all these many, many years later. Then we went on, Scaffold went on to a song called Lily the Pink, which was, yeah, you started out, right? Oh, look at these lunatics here, that's marvelous. Very good. And Lily the Pink is like a big #1 in England, which is lovely, it's like a little feather in your cap. If you realise that Stevie Wonder's first #1 hit in Great Britain was Ebony and Ivory, I think. I think you'll find that's right. Someone of such genius waits that long to get a #1. I got there before him. Sorry? Who was he with, then? And on that Lily the Pink, just a few things for the girls over here, anybody, if you ever hear the song again. On the bass, this is great. Do you know Jack Bruce from Cream? Yeah. Jack Bruce, beautiful bass guy. So again into the session, right? We're there in Abbey Road, and there's the musos all there. And in the middle of all the musos, I see this face through the glass partition. I said, oh no, that's Jack Bruce, what the hell is he doing? Oh, Mike Vickers knows him, the guy that did the arrangement. Bloody hell, excuse me, I'm just going, hello Jack, how are you? Bloody hell. So, on this one, I want you to add, like, do what you want, ad-lib. And because it was like a German sing-along pub song, like, Stein, stuff, that sort of thing. There's nothing much you can do, and he just said, to tell you the truth, Mike, I think all I can do is go, boom, 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 boom. Sorry, Jack. He was on it. There's a man called Tim Rice, Jesus Christ Superstar, all those things, Tim Rice. He was a can lad, he went for the tea on that one. There was a man called Graham Nash, who was on TV last night, with Cosby has just got out of jail. They did a little, you see the little thing they did together? It's on the TV last night, so that was lovely. And Graham wrote a song in his group called Hollies, did a song called Jennifer Eccles many, many years ago, right? And there's a verse in the little thing called, oh, Jennifer Eccles and terrible freckles, and the boys all called her names, so they gave her a medicinal compound. Now she joins in all their games, something like that. I can't remember the bloody thing. So anyway, we've got Graham to come along and sing it. Everybody thinks it's Roger McGough, but it's actually Graham Nash, if you ever listen to that thing again. And the last one, the last little silly bit of information on the little thing was, the whole thing, as I said, was, we'll drink. That was the whole essence of it, of the song. And so, when it was all mixed down, I said, okay, great. They said, okay, it's a take. We're going to put this on a record and release it. And I said, well, hold on. There's no... And he said, well, that's all you've got. Huh, right. This story is nearly as bad as wiping Jimi Hendrix out. Ask me about that later. So they said, there's no. So I said, well, we've got to have on it. So I went to the Irish doorman. Have you known Dark Side of the Moon, the Pink Floyd? Oh, yeah! You know the lovely Irishman that says that you can hear him just talking through it about life and that, all that. The little Irishman, he talks like that. But he was on the door in Abbey Road, right? It's just a doorman. So I went up to him and said, excuse me, can I have the keys to the Beatle locker, the one behind number 2? And he said, well, I don't know where that is. Can't give you that. I said, don't know where that is. So he said, it's okay, I'm from Liverpool. Oh, that's all right, here's the key. So I went there, I got Ringo's drum out, put it on the floor of number 2, put an overcoat over it, and said, right, take, here we go, and that was the end of the little thing. Number 1. Okay, that's it. We'll go now on to New York. Scaffold then sort of, went into the business. We came over to New York. And I'll read the last little bit, and then you can ask me whatever you like, actually. This is called New York. John Lennon liked New York's abrasive, brutal, succinct, sometimes vicious attitude because it reminded him of a tighter, more together Liverpool. Not that there isn't a certain charm about the bullet-headed frankness, but I can think of better things than going to the shop next to the Chelsea Hotel and asking, excuse me, mistake number 1, would you sell peanuts? Show me sell peanuts. What do you mean? Oh, could I have a bag, please? Yeah. Second mistake, please. And do you sell Coca-Cola? Show me sells Coke. What do you want? Big, small? Large, please. Do you sell whiskey? Whiskey? Do we look like we sell goddamn whiskey? I beg your pardon. You get whiskey down the street. Thank you. Good day. Mistake number 3. Now what I should have said was, you got any peanuts? Sure. Here's a bag. You got Coke? Sure. Here's Coke. Big. You got it. Got any broken biscuits? Sure. Well, mend them, your mother. So now, I think, I don't know.